had one of the biggest singles of the 1990s and is still kicking it strong. Close to 300,000 fans on Facebook.
That's quite a few.
Which is a lot. On Twitter, they have got 137,000 followers.
It's quite a few.
Which is
there
quite...
are a lot of people that have more.
That will... You just don't undersell the next guest, all right? You can't do that. You can't do that on the show, Dakota, because this is the opposite. We're talking them up. And
no one has more followers than that guy.
Celebrated 21 years in music last year and are returning to Australia in August this year for the first time since 2012 after a sellout tour last time. It is a huge honour to welcome to the Brink and Edge Radio, Mr. Taylor Hanson. Taylor, welcome to the Brink and Edge Radio.
Thanks for having me. That's quite an intro.
Well, we like to make our guests feel welcome, and also I like to give you guys big heads because I feel you need to have big heads, and get you excited for the chat. So, was that? Did it help? Did it give you guys a bit of a big head?
Yeah. You've said give me a big head several times. I would say, yeah, I'm feeling very, very pumped up.
Good, so. Good. It's working already. Now, as I mentioned, of course, heading back here in August, right across 5 states and over to our neighbours there in New Zealand. Do you always get excited, Taylor, when you get to come back down under to tour to the Aussie fans?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the first time we came, it was 97, I think was the first time we actually played, visited, but we really didn't do a tour for some time, a proper tour. And the fans are amazing. I mean, we feel blessed that we get to still have fans so many years later keep engaged and get to tour the world. And this, the Australian fans, I mean, we see a presence from Aussies that fly to different places to go to special events and come to tour all over the world, and so we feel like it's our job to finally get back and do the traveling ourselves.
Yeah.
So it's going to be great.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, back here in 2012 for your last tour, sold out right across the country. I mean, do you have some favourite places that when you come to Australia that you like to check out, sort of more memorable ones than others?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different places. I mean, obviously the landmark, the cities that we spent more time in than others based on the media and things like that are places like Melbourne and Sydney. But I mean, we've gotten to see so much of the country that it really is just such a beautiful place. You guys also have a lot of you've got a kind of a growing craft beer scene. There's also I feel like there's great coffee, great food. You guys have great weather. I mean, what else do you need?
Yeah, exactly. It's a bit of paradise. We like to think that. Now, I'm down here in Tasmania, though. Have you ever managed to get down here to Tasmania, and perhaps in the future, maybe sort of for your next tour, maybe bring the guys down here to Tasmania for their first show down here?
Yeah, we would love to come to Tasmania. I mean, I'm sure you see with tours that come down that don't necessarily make it, that oftentimes you're just so strapped for time and resources, you go, well, is it possible to come there? So we need to figure that out for the next tour.
Well, I know sort of in the lead up to this interview that a lot of fans have contacted us. I know a lot of people fly up to see concerts in general, and they're flying up to see you guys. So look, the Hanson fans in Tasmania, Taylor, they do make an effort to still see you guys in Australia.
We appreciate that immensely, and we know that it's a big deal. I mentioned that a second ago, that the idea of fans traveling, but we really do. I mean, we've always had and been really lucky to have a good group of Australian and Tasmanian as fans, and we see people travel and come to other places because, oftentimes it is a few years between tours, and so we do see people travel, and so we always feel kind of like we're coming back to like a comfortable, good place when we get to come and play shows.
Well, one thing that really stands out with you guys, I feel, over the years is how open and connected you are with your fans. I mean, you do great sort of things for your fans to be able to interact with them and really stay in touch with it. I mean, how important is that, or has that been for you over the years? And do you find now with things like social media and YouTube that it's a lot easier to be able to interact with the fans?
Well, there are a lot of resources now that you can sort of bring together. We were very lucky in the sense that when we first really broke out, we were watching the internet sort of evolve, and social media was hardly even around. The things you think of Facebook and Twitter, social media was forums on websites and people going on and searching for things. So we've always, on our website, we've always, it's never been anyone else's, and so we were able to connect directly with the fans. We always feel like we could do more, though. But it is true, yeah, that the tools that are there now, whether it's using a mobile app or whether it's using location check-ins to, thank people for being there, give them, discounts at a show, those kinds of cool things. Live streaming, and those, we've done a lot of cool things with live streaming. So all that stuff lets you stay connected. But I think ultimately, it's all of it tied together, because we feel like you can keep fans as long as you don't let them down, and as long as you don't put out bad music or, go out there and play a show and sort of act like it's not a big deal and just kind of go through the motions. And so we always start there. We feel like that is, as long as we're putting out records we're proud of and we're doing shows and we're giving it everything we've got each night, I think that is the strongest social, that's the strongest tool for driving further connection with your fans.
Absolutely, and it's working a treat. And you're, speaking of records and albums, your latest one out at the moment, Anthem, just been released here in Australia, doing great guns. The lead single off the album, Get the Girl Back. Love the song. We're going to play for it right here in the show this morning. But the film clip, the gorgeous Kat Dennings, of course, from Two Broke Girls fame, is in it. How do you manage to get her working on the film clip? I've read she was a big Hanson fan, and she almost requested to be in the clip.
Yeah, I mean, we were all flattered when we heard that she liked the band, and this has been, I guess, a few years ago. And so we both reached out to each other, trying to, sort of connect somehow. And we were all fans first, so we became friends, and we hung out a few times. And then as we were getting closer to this record, I mean, we just envisioned this story of this video and this idea of this couple different people, interacting at this little venue. And also our friend Nikki Reed, who's a brilliant actress and is one of the other featured people in the video. Both of them happen to also be good friends, and so we asked them to play these key roles. But the video was such an amazing time to make. It was such a great production. We had an amazing group of friends in there. Also, we have other random guest appearances, like Drake Bell is in it, who's a friend of ours, and we have Paul McDonald, Nikki Reed's husband, and so there's just a whole cast of people, all of which are friends, and we try to create a little narrative story with the video, so it's fun to watch.
Well, works well. Is there an opportunity then for a cameo, perhaps from you guys on Two Broke Girls in the future?
I would love that, actually. There's always a possibility.
Always possibility. Good. Now, Taylor, we wrap up every interview with a set of 5 questions I'll get to in just a moment. But one thing that I'm not sure if some of our listeners are aware of is that you guys have your own beer now, perfectly entitled Hops.
That's right.
Which is the best name for a beer in the world. Are you bringing it out to Australia for fans to be able to try it when they come to your gigs?
We can't promise that it'll be at the shows, but we are actually working on distribution for Australia. So if things line up and it happens in time for the tour, that would be amazing. But I'm sure, as you can imagine, international alcohol laws, shipping things, importing things, it's pretty complicated. So the beer is something that we're really passionate about. It's an amazing community. Craft beer is something that's thriving in the U.S. and really all over the world. It's starting to really take off. So it's a great beer. I mean, something we're proud of. So when people finally get it, the one thing to keep in mind is it's definitely more alcoholic than a lot of the traditional beers you're getting. I mean, it's 7.5%, so it's kind of a good level of alcohol, but it doesn't taste like it. It's very smooth and balanced. Okay. So just I'm pre-warning you for your hangover.
Well, that's good. It's good to get that pre-warning out there, perhaps. Starting off with question number 1, Taylor Hanson, what is your favourite type of cheese?
Oh gosh, I have to go with burrata, mozzarella burrata.
Okay, yes, I like the mozzarella. I haven't heard of that one. But is it a bitey cheese? I mean, is it sort of a specific type of mozzarella?
Yeah, mozzarella. It's a creamy mozzarella. So it's mozzarella that's cured, and then extra cream is put in the middle, and it's tied, and it's cured again. So it's just absolutely melts in your mouth. Incredible.
Sounds like it. I'm going to get some after this interview. Question number 2, when it comes to toilet paper, are you a folder or a scruncher?
I would definitely fold. That's an important thing.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Have you been asked that question many times before in your life at all, Taylor? Or
there's very few questions I can say that's the first, but I think it is.
Wow, there you go. Exclusive here on The Brink this morning. Growing up, what was your dream job?
I'm living my dream job, and that is another thing I can always have been able to say.
I love speaking to people when they can say that. Also, growing up, who was your childhood celebrity crush?
Oh my gosh, who was my childhood celebrity crush? Either probably Catherine Zeta-Jones. I don't know. Beautiful. Who else? Cindy Crawford, probably.
Yes, I can see both. Obviously, we've had you guys answered several times on this show as childhood celebrity crushes, so special shout-out to everybody on The Brink who's answered Hanson in the past. And final question for you today. Taylor Hanson, what is your worst habit?
My worst habit? What's my worst habit? It's probably biting my nails. It's not absolutely... I don't have the, some people you look at their fingers and they're just like ravaged. So mine are slightly more manageable, but that's one thing I wish I could kick. Tend to still
one day
chew on the old nail.
One day, I'm sure you will. One day, we'll hold out hope for you because
people
can see Hanson live this August right across all mainland states and in New Zealand. All details we put up on our site and Facebook. You can check out Hanson.net for all the latest news. Download the Hanson app as well. May I suggest that to people out there? And I'll tell you one thing, Taylor. Really looking forward to seeing you here in Australia in August. And thanks for the chat today. And hopefully one day we can do this in person. Get you down here to Tassie one time.
We would love that. Nice to talk to you.
And absolute pleasure to speak to Taylor there, as I said, coming to Australia later this year. And let's hear Hanson's latest single right now. Here is Get the Girl Back by Hanson. 17 minutes 8 here on The Brink and Edge Radio.